Listen, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This water's fucking freezing, dude. Oh, it's so fucking cold. But we ball. So I was talking to my dad earlier this morning, and he was like, son, like, you gonna get a girlfriend? You know how it is. So I was telling him, like, Dad, relationships are a scam. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that shit. And fucking obnoxious cars, dude. And he was like, why? All right, so let me tell you what I told him. The divorce rate is 60%. That is just the people that decide to divorce, okay? If you've ever met a married person before, you know that many of them are in unhappy marriages and refuse to divorce, even though they know it would probably be better for the both of them. A lot of times you'll have this like unhealthy dynamic. Happens very often where, you know, both people are kind of tired of each other, or, you know, even if you're not married, like if you're just boyfriend and girlfriend or girlfriend and girlfriend, whatever, the way that it happens, right, like the relationship, so you have like the very beginning, right? So imagine like a graph, and it's like a graph of like happiness if you're single, and then another one of happiness if you're in a relationship. And when you're in a relationship, initially it jumps up way higher than if you were single. So that's the honeymoon phase, right? That's the when you guys are like infatuated with each other. You see with this graph, like it goes up, right? And then after the honeymoon phase ends, which is like, I don't know, depends on the person, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, if you're lucky, 2 years, it just drops off. And I think for most people, it doesn't drop back off to the baseline of where you were when you were single, or like where you would be if you're single. It like dives below it, and it stays there, and it never goes back up. You never ever get that happiness again. Once the honeymoon phase ends, you're just two people, and like you see each other for who you are, right? And people are full of problems. I'm full of problems. Everybody is. The divorce rate is 50 or 60%. That's just the people who decide to divorce. Many of them are in unhappy marriages. Those statistics are not looking good. So let's do like a ROI like analysis on this. Like, what's your return, your expected outcome in a relationship? We just look at the data, right? So 60% chance you're going to get divorced. If it's not marriage, really, really high chance you're going to break up. And love is like, I heard this quote a while back. I don't know who said it, but it was, love is a loan on happiness. So when you love somebody, when you get in a relationship with them, that happiness that you're experiencing with them, eventually you have to pay it back. It's not free. And the way that some people deal with this is that, you know, after that initial spike up from the happiness, as it's coming down from the honeymoon phase, or maybe if it drops all the way from a breakup, they just get in another relationship, and they try to, you know, like instead of just writing out that negative, you know, paying back their loan that they took out with the universe of happiness when they started dating this person, instead of experiencing that, going through the breakup healthily and then recovering, what they do is that they just go into another relationship, and then their graph doesn't so much look like a steep jump and then down into like oblivion. It looks like a sine wave, like it's going up and down and up and down and up and down. And so they're preventing themselves from feeling that pain. But again, every single time you do that, you're taking a loan more. You're getting debt, and with interest on happiness from the universe. And you got to pay that back eventually. People get in relationships, when they get in jumper relationships, like they'll literally get in one, and then all of the negative things that happened in the past relationship come back, and it's exactly why their second relationship ends as well, and then their third and fourth. They have the same problem reoccurring with everybody. Sometimes they don't even catch it. Sometimes like they'll just go on and keep believing that other people are the problem. I don't know what the saying is exactly. It's like if it smells like shit everywhere you go, like you're probably the one that has shit on your shoe or something. I don't know what the saying is, but it's so right. Like I've seen it so much in my life where people will just fuck up their relationships over and over and blame the other person every time. Or even if they do blame themselves and they recognize, okay, well, you know, part of this breakup was my fault, they won't fix it. They won't fix themselves. They won't go to therapy. They won't, you know, face their demons that are preventing them. So their happiness, it instead of looking like a sine wave because they're jumping, it's actually like they're underwater, and every time they're in a relationship, they just barely get to breathe above like the baseline level of happiness, and then as soon as they're out, or as soon as they like the honeymoon ends, they're back in the depression. And it's so hard to get out of that loop. Seeing it's just really, really common. These people that'll just jump and jump and jump between relationships to never, ever, ever have to repay that loan that they took out initially. But yeah, so anyways, so I told all this to my dad, right? Who was asking me about that. And, he had to disagree because he was not married to my mom anymore, but he is married with somebody else. And he said that he was happy, and I'm not gonna like deny that. I'm sure he is. But, you look at people my age. I'm 19, dude. Like, I'm a baby. So, look at people my age. People my age do not have the maturity that people his age do. But, just people my age, they're young, they're stupid, and it's time to go in the jacuzzi. Wait, give me 1 second. All right, going back to the room to change. At least the hotel room is nice. Liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Some vegan burgers. Alright, so it's later in the day. Still kind of enjoying the hotel. So as you may know, I quit my job recently. I guess a little bit of background. I haven't really introduced myself personally on this YouTube channel. So I'm 19. I'm currently going to Southwestern College for a computer science associates, and then I'm going to transfer most likely to UCSD or SDSU to do computer science. And so my plan right now is to focus on school, focus on especially, dude, calculus is kicking my ass. I need to lock in when it comes to calculus, but yeah, study, make sure my academics are as on point as they can be, working on my projects. And the ultimate goal is to land an internship for software engineering. So yeah, that's kind of my plan right now. Just quit my job to have more time to study, to have more time to work on my projects, more free time so I can enjoy doing things like this, which is always super fun. Kind of the problem that I'm having right now with school though, is that it is boring. Like, really boring. I've been teaching myself computer science and programming all of my free time the last 2 or 3 years, 4 years. One of the projects that I'm most proud of is actually, it's a completely custom Minecraft computer, Minecraft redstone computer. So literally, I built a computer from redstone dust and redstone torches. That is not an exaggeration. So that was my introduction to programming and computer science, was building my own CPU. And that is not an easy project. It taught me so much about the fundamentals, and I immediately fell in love. I'm already building projects, like my project Until Every Cage is Empty gets 3,000 monthly users, which is, pretty impressive for somebody who didn't really start doing computer science in school until this year. And I haven't learned anything in school either. They don't really teach you much. Maybe that's another thing that's a scam. Maybe that's the next topic. Like, school, for me, I've always been told that I have a lot of potential. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that, but it sucks being told that, because what the teacher is saying is that like you're not living up to expectations, and pretty much telling you like do better. And I've always had terrible grades in school, always. Ever since I can remember, I was horrible at doing homework. That was the big thing. I couldn't get myself to do homework, or I couldn't get myself to focus in class because I was so bored. And same thing with college right now. I just feel like I'm not learning anything. I just feel like a hamster on a hamster wheel, just spinning and doing what the system and what the school wants me to do. But obviously, I'm best on my own and learning on my own and learning by doing. That's how I learn. I don't learn from a professor giving a presentation or a lecture. That's not how I learn. I learn by jumping into whatever it is that I'm trying to learn head first, without any experience, and just figuring it out. That's how I learn. I learned computer science by building projects and working with people and communicating and all of that. I learned how to build a full stack web app by deploying my first full stack web app. Maybe I'm just learning wrong. I mean, it might just be that I'm not studying correctly, but I passed the tests with good grades and everything. So I hope other people can relate to that, that feeling that like you're just not built for the system and the way that society has kind of structured itself. Like you're not built to work very well in the traditional path. Like, here's another story. Like, when I was little, the other kids at, like, my babysitters where I used to be, they would watch, like, Nickelodeon and, like, Cartoon Network and all this crap. And when I was little, dude, I would just sit and watch documentaries. Like, I remember, well, I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson in Into the Cosmos. Oh, my God. I loved that show. I loved all the documentaries. The History Channel was a little weird. I think it still is now. They just like do alien shit and like they have like a show about trucking. I don't know. It's a History Channel and they like push conspiracy theories on. Okay, whatever. Anyway, like that's the type of stuff I would watch. I did not watch Teen Titans Go and fucking SpongeBob. Actually, no, I did watch SpongeBob. SpongeBob is the best show ever made, by the way. Seasons 1 through 3. I always just like watch documentaries for fun. And like even now, like I've tried getting into watching shows. Like, I don't watch movies. And it's true, I don't watch movies. I've watched, like, in the last year, I've watched maybe a movie or two. Like, I think. I don't watch movies. Shows, too. Like, I've tried getting myself to watch shows. I've watched so little shows that I know all of the ones that I've watched. I've watched Breaking Bad. I watched the second one after that. It was, like, Better Call Saul. I'm watching Stranger Things right now. That's actually pretty good. And yeah, so I've been rotting my brain a little bit on, like, Stranger Things and watching shows a little. But, like, that's just not something I ever did in my entire life. I didn't watch shows. I didn't watch movies. I was bored as shit watching them. Yeah, I never really, like, fit in with the other kids ever. People used to always say, like, I was, like, a little adult trapped in a child's body. And, like, that's how I felt. I was huge into astronomy. That was something that I was, like, I thought I was going to be an astronomer for a long time. I would say right now I'm, like, software engineer, but also I'm open to other things. But people just don't really relate to my experience that often. I'm just ranting. If you're watching this, I really appreciate it. If you've ever felt like that like you're different from everybody. Like, everyone around you, there's not a single person that you really look up to because nobody has ever understood you. And you saw all this evil around you, all these people doing bad things, making dumb decisions, and you always just you just didn't fit in, right? But if you felt that way, just know, like, first of all, I got you. And second of all, like, other people exist out there. Just look, you'll probably find them. Maybe you'll find me. I don't know. Let's talk, hang out, whatever. But I'm gonna go back to the room and I'll see y'all later. Yeah. Hey. You got this, brother? Damn. Ugh. Oh, close. Hey. I don't know how to play basketball, but let's do this. Bro, come on, dude. How do you do this? How do you do it? Oh. Okay, easy, bro. First try.